Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to GNR Central. And today I want to go back to 1992. So Guns N' Roses are on tour with Metallica, and they had a number of different bands open for them. They had Motorhead open for them. They had Faith No More, who played a lot of shows with them. And then another band was Ice-T and Body Count. Now, they were a pretty controversial choice because at that time they had a song out called Cop Killer. And it upset a ton of people. And in fact, in some of the shows that Guns N' Roses wanted Body Count to open for, they actually had, the promoter said, no, you're not having Body Count open, and they're not going to be playing those shows with you. So let's first talk about the song Cop Killer. So it was a song that was written by Ernie C, with the words being done by Ice-T, with the heavy metal band Body Count, which they were both members of. So it was released on Body Count's 1992 self-titled album, and it was originally written 2 years earlier and was partially influenced by Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads. So the song's lyrics about cop killing provoked a lot of controversy and negative reactions from a lot of political figures, including the president, who was George W. Bush at the time, as well as his vice president, Dan Quayle, as well as Tipper Gore, who co-founded the Parents Music Resource Center, who Guns N' Roses had a lot of issues with back in the day as well. So others defended the song on the basis of the band's First Amendment rights. So Ice-T referred to Cop Killer as a protest record, stating that the song is sung in the first person as of a character who's fed up with police brutality. Ice-T also credited the Talking Heads song Psycho Killer with partially inspiring the song. And the recorded version mentions the then Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates and Rodney King, who was a black motorist whose beating by the LAPD had basically been caught on videotaped and pretty much contributed to the LA riots that happened in 1992. So shortly after the release of Body Count, a jury acquitted the officers and riots broke out in South Central Los Angeles. And soon after the riots, the Dallas Police Association and Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas, or CLEAT as it's known as, launched a campaign to force Warner Brothers to withdraw the album. So following its release, the song was met with strong opposition, with critics ranging from President Bush to various law enforcement agencies, with strong demands for the song's withdrawal from commercial availability, citing concerns of promoting anti-police sentiment. So conversely, Ice-T defended the lyrical content of the song, as did various other people who did not believe the song posed any risk and remained in support of the song, continuing to be released and sold. So here's a good interview that Ice-T did where he was on Australian TV and defended the song and its meaning.
Savage, hateful message, isn't it? It's now not relating just to the cop, it's his family as well.
Yes, it's saying that, I know your family's grieving, but what about the families of the youth that have been killed out there? This record is so far-fetched from Australia or New Zealand. It's like you guys are very fortunate. You don't undergo the police brutality the same way we do in America. But where American people are really up in arms about this song, which doesn't kill, it's just a song. But the cops are in America actually kill kids, and the parents cry and scream, and these cops don't go to jail. They're just laid off. You know, there's no cops on death row. And this particular character in this song has said, hey, I know your family's grieving, but so what? You know, this is the point where I determine it's time to get even. And he doesn't say he wants to get up. He just says he wants to get even. This is a very angry song, a song about rage.
Okay, but I understand that you said this in one of your US interviews. I've got no trouble with killing brutal cops. True?
They have no trouble with killing what they consider brutal kids. See, my attitude is that just because you have a badge doesn't give you the right to murder me. Once a cop pulls me out of the car and handles me under the law, that's cool. But once he starts beating on me and taking advantage of me, no longer is he in the lines of law. He is now becoming some inhuman person, and he's determined. Now it's just two men out in the street, and one of us got to die, and it's not going to be me. You know, it's either you or me. That's what the record says. It's better you than me. If it was me down there and I was Rodney King, I would have tried to kill those police because they were trying to kill that man.
Okay, you present it as a black view, and yet, for instance, the new black chief of the LA police asked for this song to be banned. What does that tell you?
He's not black. He's just, he might have black skin, but he's not at the bottom of the system. When I say black and white, it has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do whether the system works for you or the system works against you. I don't have any love for that particular police chief. He's what we consider in America a Tom.
Your detractors would say that the music is second-rate stuff that wouldn't rate a mention if it didn't have these references to violence. What do you say to them?
My detractors couldn't make a record that would sell 10 records. That's like me saying that Rembrandt would have never sold a painting if he didn't paint nudes, you know? That's ridiculous.
Well, George Bush clearly isn't in the music business, and he's attacked you. People like Charlton Heston, you've been attacked by police, by church groups, by civic groups. Has it done you any harm, do you think?
Nope, it's just made me more a big hero in America and all over the world. I walk through airports and people want my autograph. People love me. They give me the fist. They say, yeah, Ice. I'm just like a hero. I've become the hero of the people, and the more they attack me, the stronger I'll get. The enemy, George Bush, people like Charlton Heston, they want the tradition, ways to be upheld. And the tradition of America is to own slaves. And I ain't with it.
How's Times bid?
So in July of 1992, at an annual shareholders meeting for Time Warner, Moses himself came down from the mountain, who was a minor Time Warner shareholder, and he was given the opportunity to address the crowd, and in a well-publicized speech, he recited the lyrics from both Cop Killer and another song by Body Count called KKK Bitch, which name-checked Tipper Gore herself in an attempt to embarrass company executives into dropping the album. So some death threats were sent to Warner Brothers record executives, and some stockholders threatened to pull out of the company. So according to his 1994 book, The Ice Opinion, Who Gives an F, Ice-T decided to remove the song from the album of his own volition, and even Ice-T admitted that he was apparently going to be charged with treason by the U.S. government just for writing the song. So let's go back now to 1992. Guns N' Roses, more specifically Axl, wanted Ice-T and Body Count on those shows to open for both GNR and Metallica. So in 1992, it was a September 24th, 1992 article from the LA Times talked about Ice-T being vetoed from 2 Guns N' Roses shows. So he was supposed to open for Guns N' Roses at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum and on October 3rd at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So according to the article, the rapper whose song Cop Killer was the focus of this summer of a national debate over lyrical content and music is doing at least 5 dates with the 2 rock bands, including Oakland tonight and San Diego on Wednesday. Ice-T and his rock group Body Count had been asked by Guns N' Roses to do the 2 Los Angeles Arena shows, but the concert promoter Brian Murphy said he believed that an appearance by Body Count was inappropriate because of negative perceptions. I thought it was an inappropriate act given the circumstances of where our show was taking place, Murphy said Wednesday. He said that he had no fear of violence, but he was concerned that the controversy surrounding the band could hurt sales by compounding fears of some rock fans about attending a concert at the Coliseum so soon after the LA riots. He said, I want to keep the perception of our show credible with our audience and reduce any concerns anyone might have about going downtown to the Coliseum, he added. The Rose Bowl date was dropped at the same time. So ticket sales for the Coliseum show were reportedly well below expectations, and predictions now call for only about 35,000 to 45,000 fans out of a potential 70,000 fans to show up. So the Rose Bowl gig sold out with sales of more than 70,000 tickets, and the English hard rock band Motorhead would end up taking Ice-T and Body Count's spot for those 2 LA arena shows. So Body Count's manager didn't criticize Murphy for his actions, but said, we're glad to be doing the dates where we are on tour, he said. And Axl even put out a statement and basically said that the elimination of Body Count from the shows is shallow-minded. He added, both Ice-T and myself are all tired of all this racial crap. This was our chance to play together and show people that we're about artistic expression, not violence or prejudice. It comes down to this freedom of speech is okay as long as you don't piss off some public official. And earlier this year, Appetite for Distortion sat down with Body Count guitarist Ernie C., and he was asked about Axl using the N-word in 1 in a Million and what he thought of Axl being accused of being a racist after the release of the track. So while Axl stood up for Ice-T and Body Count, Ernie C did the same thing about Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses. He said, I have no thoughts on that whatsoever. That didn't bother me, even if it did raise an eyebrow. It's the person that says it with the intent who raises the eyebrow. Axl, I know him. He's not that dude. He can say whatever he wants, and he's not that dude. We do Cop Killer. We're not killing cops. He can say what he wants to. That's not in his heart. His bodyguard was a black man. So if you're racist, why would you have a black man protect your life? So it doesn't bother me at all. He also told a funny story about his good friend Duff McKagan once grabbing his gun in a car after a Guns N' Roses Coliseum show. He said he dropped it in the car. He hopped in the car with me, and I said, don't reach under the seat because I've got a gun under the seat right there where you're sitting. So he got out the gun, and a cop came to the car and said, "Do you guys need a police escort out of here?" And I'm like, "Put down the gun." He's holding the gun in his hand. I have tinted windows, so I've just cracked the tinted window, and the cop gives us an escort through our traffic to get on the freeway, and he's sitting there with a 9mm with all the cops around the car. So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you love GNR as much as I do. And go check out GNRcentral.com for the latest and greatest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.